You won't believe what just happened in the world of BTS. This is not a rumor. This is not just fan speculation. This is real, and you need to know it now before it's too late. Are you ready to hear the truth that has been neatly hidden behind their sweet smiles? Yes, Park Jimin himself finally spoke. Something that, for years, was just a whisper behind the stage is now spilling into the public with a loud bang. If you're a true ARMY, you should listen until the end, because once you know, once you truly understand, you will never see Jungkook and Taehyung the same way again. Before we go any deeper, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because in this secret world, you need to be with a community that knows. Write in the comments, what do you think about their secret relationship? Ready or not, it's time to reveal everything. It all started on a seemingly ordinary night in Seoul. But in reality, it was far from ordinary. A small, semi-private event, attended only by a handful of selected individuals. No live broadcast. No official cameras. Only raw and real moments, where the borders between idols and mere mortals fade away. It was in this relaxed atmosphere, filled with laughter and music, that Park Jimin, perhaps accidentally, or maybe with intention, began to open up a story that had been tightly locked away. The people in the room fell silent as Jimin, his voice trembling slightly between emotion and courage, began talking about Jungkook. More precisely, about something Jungkook has been hiding, even from the other members. Something that is deeply connected to the figure we all know as Taehyung, the man who's long been seen as Jungkook's closest friend. The world knows them as Taekook, but what if that's only the surface? All this time, we let a lot of assumptions circulate, Jimin said slowly, carefully choosing every word. But there's something not even ARMYs know. Something only Jungkook and I have known until now. The room held its breath. The world felt like it had stopped spinning. According to Jimin, the secret began many years ago, long before BTS became the global phenomenon they are today. Back when they were just teenagers, full of dreams and fears. Amid the intense pressure to be perfect in the eyes of the world, Jungkook harbored feelings that he never shared with anyone. Not even with Taehyung. And this was no simple admiration. No ordinary friendship. In a silence so sharp it could cut, Jimin revealed, Jungkook loved Taehyung in a different way. He never said it out loud. But I saw it. I saw it in the way he looked at Taehyung when Taehyung wasn't looking. The room was stunned. The statement exploded like a bomb in the quiet. Some were not ready to hear it. Others started connecting the dots. The glances, the touches, the closeness. Were they all part of a deeper, hidden truth? But Jimin wasn't finished. Jungkook kept everything to himself, he continued, his voice barely above a whisper. Because he was afraid. Afraid of losing what they had. Afraid of destroying the bond that took years to build. Even among the members, Jimin was the only one who truly knew how heavy Jungkook's burden was, carried alone year after year, without ever finding relief. Sometimes, Jimin said, I'd find him sitting alone at night, staring blankly into the distance, trying to hold back tears that never came. He never spoke, but his silence was louder than words. And then came the sentence that shattered hearts. Taehyung might have known all along, but he chose to stay silent too. A heavy silence followed. Did this mean Taehyung returned Jungkook's feelings? Or that he found out, and chose to pretend, for the sake of preserving their relationship? No one knows for sure. Not even Jimin would dare to answer that. But what he firmly believes, and wants the world to know, is that their bond is not just a casual friendship. It is something deeper, more emotional, more human. Taehyung is home to Jungkook, Jimin said, his voice almost breaking. Not just a friend, not just a colleague, but home. And now, after all these years of protecting that secret, Jimin feels it's time the ARMY knows, Not to judge, not to create scandal, but to understand, appreciate, and love them more deeply. With all their flaws, all their vulnerability, and all the beauty that makes them real human beings. Jungkook fights every day, Jimin concluded, not just for his dreams, but for the love he's never been able to express. That night, many left the room with red eyes and heavy hearts. Some cried, some remained silent, trying to digest the meaning behind Jimin's words. But one thing is certain, no one left the same. And out there, in the hearts of millions of armies, a storm was just beginning. Are you ready for a deeper truth? Because this is just the beginning. Just a few hours after Jimin's confession, the world was no longer the same. News spread like wildfire. Online forums exploded. Twitter burned. The international fan base trembled in suspense. Some cried. Some were angry. Some were confused. But one thing was clear. Everyone wanted more. Later that night, whispers started circulating. A source claiming to be a longtime Big Hit staff member said they had known for years about the complex feelings between Jungkook and Taehyung. But management chose to let things flow naturally. No bans, no restrictions, just silent understanding, leaving the two young men to navigate their feelings in a world too sharp and too bright. The source added that Jungkook had almost broken down many times. Behind the laughter, behind the dazzling stage presence, were long, lonely nights. Nights when he felt lost, even in the middle of millions of fans. And Taehyung, free-spirited and wild-hearted, was often the only anchor Jungkook had to the real world. But that anchor was also his deepest source of pain. There was one night years ago, after a major concert. The euphoria faded. Fatigue sank in like a cold fog. Jungkook suddenly disappeared. The members searched frantically. They found him on the rooftop of the hotel, knees pulled to his chest, staring at the stars. Jimin sat beside him in silence, waiting. After a long time, Jungkook whispered something that broke Jimin's heart. "I don't know what to do. I'm afraid of losing him." That night, Jimin saw a side of Jungkook that few ever have. Not the golden magne, not the powerhouse performer, but a boy. A boy afraid to love, and even more afraid to lose. From that night on, Jimin vowed to protect the secret. But as the years passed, it became harder, especially as the outside world began to notice the bond. The glances, the soft touches, the quiet understanding. They were given a name, Taekook. Fans made theories, wrote fics, dreamed dreams, but none truly knew what was real.